Does your cat not like being petted? Calm down, take a breath. Because today we're diving headfirst into this feline universe that often feels way too mysterious. If you live with a kitty who dodges when you reach out your hand, turns their head away when you try to give them a little scratch, or simply gets up and walks away as if you don't even exist, this video is exactly what you needed. And let me tell you right now, this does not mean they don't like you. In fact, it might mean the complete opposite. First of all, stay with me until the end because I'm going to reveal subtle signs that cats give when they're truly comfortable with you. Signs most people never notice. And look, in the third paragraph I'm already going to ask you something super important. If you really want to understand your cat and help more people improve their relationship with their felines, go ahead and hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel right now. And don't forget to comment below whether your cat likes being petted or not. I really want to know what your relationship is like, and I might even make a video responding to your comments. Now, getting back to the topic. It's completely normal that many cats don't enjoy petting in the way we humans imagine. Unlike dogs, who were domesticated to depend on people, seek approval, and constantly interact with humans, cats followed a very different path in their relationship with us. They approached humans slowly, on their own terms, and kept a large part of their natural independence. And that shaped the way they express and receive affection even today. Cats are extremely selective, sensory-driven, and territorial creatures. Each one has its own instruction manual, with very particular limits and preferences. This means that, many times, the issue isn't the petting itself, but how, when, and where it happens. Petting in the wrong place can feel invasive. A touch they weren't expecting can be interpreted as a threat. Petting at the wrong moment can simply be irritating. And being too insistent, without respecting their signals, can be downright scary. After all, a cat needs to feel in control of the situation. On top of that, a cat's body is full of sensitive areas. Some spots are highly enjoyable when the cat is relaxed, like the base of the ears or the top of the head. But others, the belly, paws, or tail, can be true minefields for a cat who isn't completely comfortable. For us, it may feel like just affection, but for them, it can be seen as territory invasion, loss of autonomy, or even vulnerability. Another important point is that cats have a natural physical stimulation limit. Meaning, even when they enjoy being petted, there is a moment when that's enough, and many owners interpret that limit as rejection, when, in reality, it's just the cat's way of saying, "That was great, but now I need my space." In short, understanding a cat is much more about observing than insisting. It's about reading their body language, their eyes, the position of their tail, and their behavior before, during, and after the touch. When you learn to respect your cat's timing and preferences, they don't just accept petting. They may actually start asking for it. The truth is that cats are experts in silent communication. They're talking all the time, they just don't use words. Every movement, every slow blink, every gentle approach or sudden retreat means something. They clearly show when they want closeness, and they show just as clearly when they need space. The big problem is that, many times, we humans simply don't know how to read these signals. And when we don't understand, we end up thinking the cat is standoffish, cold, or unfriendly, when in reality they're communicating with incredible precision. Have you noticed some cats rubbing their heads against you? That is pure affection. It's a behavior called bunting, and it's how they mix their scent with yours. Something that, for a cat, represents bonding, affection, and a sense of belonging. When they give you those slow blinks, the famous cat blink, that's affection too. It's their way of saying, "I trust you enough to close my eyes around you." And when they sit with their back to you but stay very close, oh, that's a huge gesture of trust. It's almost like they're saying, "I can relax here because I know you won't hurt me." For an animal that is both predator and prey in nature, offering their back is an act of vulnerability, and they only do that with someone they truly feel safe around. But here comes the most important part. If you try to pet them and the cat pulls away, that doesn't mean they're rejecting you. Not at all. They're rejecting that type of contact at that particular moment. Maybe they're tired, overstimulated, alert, focused on something else, or simply not in a petting mood right now. Cats operate very much based on emotional state, and that state changes quickly. Another essential detail is that cats need to feel in control. When they initiate touch, everything flows more smoothly. But when the human insists too much, it can create discomfort. In other words, for a cat, affection is a dance, not something to be imposed. They lead, you follow. They signal that they've had enough, and you respect it. It's within this dynamic that trust truly grows. And the more you learn to understand these micro-gestures, the more your cat realizes that you're someone who speaks their language. And that's when affection starts happening naturally, spontaneously, and in a much more enjoyable way for both of you. And of course, there's that classic issue of body sensitivity. Not all cats are the same, and this is especially true when it comes to the areas where they do, or absolutely do not, like to be touched. Many simply don't enjoy contact in certain regions, and that's not fussiness or bad mood. It's biology, instinct, and sensitivity. For some cats, the belly is completely off limits. And it makes perfect sense. The belly is the most vulnerable part of a cat's body, where vital organs are located. Instinctively, they protect that area. Even when they lie on their backs, it's not necessarily an invitation. It often just means they're relaxed, though still alert. For other cats, the tail is extremely sensitive, and any touch there can be uncomfortable. And the paws, full of nerve endings and essential for hunting and defense, are another no-go zone for many felines. On the other hand, there's a pattern most cats share. The majority love a gentle touch on the head, the top of the forehead, the chin, and behind the ears. And there's a very special reason for that. In these areas, cats have scent glands that release pheromones. When you pet them there, they're not just enjoying the physical sensation, they're also marking you with their scent. It's their way of saying, "You're part of my group. You're mine." This behavior is deeply symbolic for a cat. It's something they do with other cats to reinforce social bonds, reduce tension, and express trust. When they rub their head, press their cheek, or gently bump their forehead against you, they're creating an emotional exchange that, for them, is as intimate as a hug. And when you return that affection in the right spots, respecting the cat's limits and tempo, something even more beautiful happens. The bond strengthens. It's like the cat is saying, "I choose to be close to you, and you understand my language." This kind of connection is soft, silent, and deeply genuine. For us humans, it may seem like simple petting. But for a cat, it's a ritual of acceptance, trust, and belonging. But what about when a cat doesn't like petting at any moment? In that case, we need to look at the situation more carefully and consider several important factors. Some cats, simply because of their personality, are naturally more reserved. Just like us, they have different temperaments. Some are affectionate and clingy, others are observant and self-sufficient, and some prefer more subtle forms of interaction, like just being in the same room. And for them, that's already a sign of affection. There's also the matter of their life history. Cats who have gone through negative experiences, such as abuse, stressful environments, or rough handling, may develop an aversion to physical touch. Likewise, cats who were not socialized during kittenhood, meaning they didn't have positive human contact between the 2nd and 7th weeks of life, may grow up unable to interpret human petting as something safe. For them, touch isn't natural, and every attempt at interaction can trigger alertness instead of comfort. Another factor is emotional association. Sometimes a single negative event, like being medicated by force, getting scared while being held, or being handled by a stranger, can make a cat believe that touch is risky. And this sticks in a cat's memory, which is far more detailed than we tend to realize. But perhaps the most underestimated factor is health. A cat experiencing pain, sensitivity, inflammation, arthritis, skin irritation, or any kind of physical discomfort will naturally avoid being touched. Sometimes the owner thinks he never liked petting, when in reality the cat has always felt discomfort and simply learned to protect himself. Issues with the spine, teeth, joints, or even high stress levels can make physical contact unpleasant. And that's why, when a cat's behavior changes suddenly, a cat who always enjoyed petting now avoids it, moves away, or even becomes irritated when touched, it's not just cat behavior. It's a sign. In these cases, it's always a good idea to consult a veterinarian to rule out pain or silent health issues, because cats are experts at hiding discomfort. In the end, understanding why a cat doesn't like affection is like assembling an emotional and behavioral puzzle. It requires observation, respect, and patience. And when you finally figure out the reason, the relationship becomes much more harmonious. And who knows, the affection may start to happen little by little, in the cat's own time. Another important point. Cats don't like to be pressured. The more you insist, the more they pull away. This isn't stubbornness, it's instinct. Cats are animals that value control. They need to feel that they have the freedom to decide when, where, and how the interaction happens. That's why the best way to teach a cat to enjoy petting is by letting them take the initiative. Sit nearby calmly, without making sudden movements and without staring directly at them. Because for a cat, a fixed stare can feel like a challenge. Extend a finger gently, in a neutral way, and wait. If the cat comes and rubs its head against you, perfect. That's a clear invitation to interact. If they just sniff your hand and walk away, respect that boundary. This freedom of choice builds something very valuable: trust. And trust is exactly what, over time, transforms a shy or wary cat into a loving one. It's a process much like building a friendship. You don't force it, you nurture it. Many owners make a common mistake: trying to pet a cat while they are sleeping, eating, or focused on something. For cats, these are moments of vulnerability or intense concentration. Sleeping is when they are most defenseless. Eating is instinctively serious and tied to survival. And when they are observing, playing, or sniffing around, their senses are fully engaged. Interrupting these moments with petting can cause irritation, which is when you see those paw taps, warning bites, or sudden escapes that leave owners confused. The cat isn't being rude, it's simply saying, "Not now." The key is to observe their behavior and recognize the signs when they are ready for affection. A cat that wants touch approaches on its own. It may raise its tail with the tip curved, one of the clearest signs of feline affection, rub against you, nuzzle objects around you, follow you through the house, or simply lie down beside you in a relaxed posture. There's no mistake. When they want affection, they show it. Cats are not ambiguous. We are still learning to translate their language. And when you finally start respecting your cat's timing, limits, and style, something magical happens. They begin to trust more, approach more, and gradually, affection becomes a natural exchange. It's not about taming the cat. It's about building a relationship based on mutual respect and understanding. Now, let me tell you something that many people don't know. Some cats like affection, but only for a short time. They enjoy being touched, yes, but only for a few seconds. For them, physical stimulation can be intense. Every rub, scratch, or stroke activates a huge number of sensory receptors, and their brain needs to process all of it. So, if your cat accepts petting for a little while and then walks away, it's not rejection. It's simply their limit. And setting limits doesn't break the bond. On the contrary, it strengthens it. When you respect a cat's timing, they learn that being near you is safe, that you understand their language, and that there's no pressure. This builds trust, which is the foundation of any healthy relationship with a feline. Every moment of affection, even if brief, is valuable. It's a small gift they offer you when they feel comfortable. And of course, we can't forget the famous petting-induced aggression. You know when a cat is completely relaxed, enjoying petting, and suddenly bites or swats. This happens because they've reached their sensory limit. It's not anger, malice, or dislike. It's simply sensory overload. Cats have extremely sensitive nerve endings in their skin, and when stimulation becomes too intense, the brain sends a clear warning: enough, I need a break. To avoid this situation, it's important to observe subtle body signals. Some examples include ears starting to swivel backward or flatten, tail flicking or moving quickly, slight trembling of the skin, a more fixed, focused gaze. These signals are clear warnings of, okay, that's enough for now. If you respect these signs and stop petting at that moment, the cat won't leave feeling resentful. On the contrary, they learn that you understand their limits, which increases their trust and sense of safety. Over time, you'll notice that some cats may even come back for more petting, but always on their own terms. That's the key: respecting a cat's rhythm, recognizing their signals, and accepting that feline affection isn't always prolonged. And when done with respect, every touch becomes an act of true connection, deeper than any long-lasting gesture of affection we could imagine. Another extremely powerful tip is to interact with your cat through play. Playing is not just fun, It's a form of communication, mental and physical exercise, and most importantly, a tool for building a bond. Cats that play more tend to be more confident, relaxed, and over time, more affectionate. They learn that you are a safe presence, that you respect their boundaries, and that you are there for positive experiences. Emotional connection grows, and when they feel secure with you, they naturally allow more physical contact. Invest in a variety of toys. Wand toys with feathers, balls, tunnels, interactive toys, or even everyday objects you can turn into fun activities. Every play session is an opportunity to strengthen your bond, release energy, and stimulate your cat's mind. And often, this is exactly how affection begins. A cat that has fun with you associates your presence with positive experiences, making later physical contact feel natural and enjoyable. And yes, there's another truth that few people talk about. Some cats show affection in different ways. Not all express love by rubbing their head or asking to be held. Some show it subtly, following you around the house, sleeping in the same room, waiting near the door for you to return, or giving gentle head bumps. These small gestures, though subtle, are genuine expressions of bonding and trust. The important point is to understand that feline affection doesn't always look like canine affection. They don't lick, wag their tails, or throw themselves onto your lap demanding attention. What may seem distant or indifferent to human eyes is actually a deep, silent form of love. When a cat chooses to be near you, even quietly, it is saying, "I like you, I trust you, and I want to be close." So, if your cat doesn't enjoy conventional petting, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means they express affection differently, and when we learn to recognize these subtle signals, we can perceive a true connection built on respect, trust, and quality time together. In the end, understanding a cat is like learning a new language. Every gesture, glance, and movement matters. The more you observe, respect, and interact positively, the stronger the bond becomes. And often, it's in this journey that affection, even if brief or subtle, becomes even more meaningful and valuable. If you've made it this far, comment, "I love my cat," down below because I want to know who is truly interested in understanding the feline world. And take this opportunity to share this video with that person who keeps saying their cat is cold or unfriendly. Sometimes, all it takes is a little interpretation. Now, stay with me until the end because I want to give you advice that will completely change the way you interact with your cat. Everything in feline behavior is about trust and control of their own space. The more a cat feels in control, the more relaxed they become. And when they're relaxed, affection comes naturally. Don't force it, don't rush it, don't push the process. Live at your cat's pace. Understand that they are animals with complex, subtle, and extremely sensitive emotions. And when you sync with that rhythm, the relationship changes forever. So, if you want more videos explaining your cat's behavior, subscribe to the channel now, hit the notification bell, and leave a like because it really helps me bring even better content. And of course, leave a comment telling me about your cat's personality. Affectionate, independent, shy, energetic? I love hearing from you and I always respond to your comments. Thank you so much for staying until the end, sending you a big hug, and go give your kitty some space so they can come ask for affection in their own way.